Okay, yeah, guys, it's been kind of like quite a few days now. I've been kind of like streaming, so I think for 3 days I haven't streamed. So that why I was kind of like um doing some stuff by the side. But right now I'm kind of like freed up. So it will be as usual. Yeah, we'll be streaming on regular days, like we were doing before. And yeah, so last time we felt like stuff. Yeah, before we just jump into the stuff we'll be doing today. Guys, please, if you know you haven't subscribed to the channel and you like what I'm doing and you like watching this and learning a lot, please, guys, do subscribe so that we could just keep on growing this channel number and subscribers counts. Thank you as you do so. And with that being said, so basically we kind of like start at the short feature. So I think we kind of like was able to finish the home page layout, the chat home page. So this is I call it chat room or chat home page or something like that. No, this is a chat home page. So this is chat room, and we're able to kind of like create a layout how it will kind of look in the app, and we added this stuff. So actually this is working. So if you click on this, but you could see our keyboard is kind of like covering the input field, so which doesn't make sense. If you go ahead and tap on this, so you won't see that being filled up, and we're going to just work on that. I think we start with that, and I'll move ahead with other stuff. So let's get that done. So you can see we just typed something in there, but you couldn't see it while typing that. So see, just close this and head to our chat. And guys, also do let me know if you think the VS Code test is not viewable or something like that. If it's too small, I think because I just increase the font size of the VS Code so that everybody can see it properly. But do let me know if you can see it. I'll just know what to do. But with those being pointed out, so let's start. So head over to chat screen, which should be let's see. So our chat screen should be somewhere right. So there's chat folder, presentation, chat room or chat screen. So there's your chat room screen, and let's scroll up. And so currently the layout we have is scaffold. So you have a scaffold, and like I did a test here. So if you tap on this and you tap something and you tap anywhere here, so you see the keyboard is not closing, it's still showing up, but we need that to close up when we tap outside the keyboard region. So how to fix that is that we're going to wrap this with a gesture detector. So wrap gesture detector, and go ahead, put it down again. So enter, untap, and then we don't need it. So we already created our function. So just go to call this function called hide keyboard, and there we go. So go ahead and save that, and let's test that out. So if you tap on this and you tap outside, it closes. Tap outside. So if you tap and tap anyway, it will close up. So that's basically what we are looking for. We got that. So let's go ahead and start implementing. So you have a stack, a safe area right here, and inside it you have a stack widget. And so a safe area, a stack widget. We have a position element and a container right here. Just start by removing this widget. So we have this container being there for now. So I'm trying to fix some stuff so we could actually be able to see our test field here. So when we click on the keyboard, and so the next stuff we could do. Let's see. So you have a forum widget, and inside there we have a padding and we have the divider, which is the end. And next we could do is so this is actually a build chart right here. So you need to comment that out. So you immediately comment that out. Right now we have our test field section. So this is our test field section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight ahead and wrap this with an alignment. So go ahead and delete this. Remove, save, and wrap it. Hold on it. So it's up here. We don't want it up here. We want it below here. Hold on that. Wrap it with align. So we have which is called align. I can go into the alignment property, and then we could just say alignment dot bottom center. So go ahead and use bottom center. Save that. And that will push it down to the end right here. And now if you tap on this, you see it's working. So you have our test field being pushed up, unlike before it was not being pushed up. So tap, it goes down, tap again, it goes up, tap, it goes down. So that's the functionality we want. I will just keep the height that will be there for the column. Instead of column, we have a divider, which is this. And next stuff we could do is to add the color for this our container. But the color is still going to be the same color as the background though. So we can just say theme dot or context dot scaffold background. So go ahead and use that. So it's going to be the same color as our background. And see there's any other changes. So we added our divider and thickness is 0.3. And next we have padding where we have I'll have a row widget which has space in between, and we have an asset. Then I'm kind of like talking about what we did here. We had an image which is icon.attach, which is this icon right here. And the next we did was have a custom field, which is this. And then the last one was image. This image, which we have right here. And yeah, with that being done, so let's go ahead and see what we could just fix up here. Let's go over to our chart field, custom chart field. I think I need to do some changes there. So we have test editing controller, and we have a test input keyboard, and have a payload and unchanged method. So one I think unchanged method is okay. We need to change that. And in here, so So I'm going to make some changes right here. We're still going to leave the container width to be this, and the height, we're going to increase that. The height of our test field, let's increase that by 45. Let's say 45. So you have some bigger size of that. Compare that to what we have here. So there we go. Want the size to be big. That's looking fine right here. And let's see what else we need to do. And so since we added that, still keep the color, border color, we still keep that. No, so we don't need a border color. So yeah, I think that's part of the changes. We move this up somewhere, so this will not keep blocking us. So yeah, it is. If you look at the design we got, our design doesn't have a border color. If you look closely, you see there's no border color around this test field. The test field doesn't have any border color. But what we have here, the test field has a gray border color, so we're going to remove that right away. So I have to do that just to delete this option here, so we don't need that. Go ahead and save this. If you look again, so that we don't have that gray border right again. So we have, okay, autocorrect, we left that on. One stuff we could add is to add a maximum line. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So we have what we call max lines. How many lines do you want the user to be typing in here? Like, let's say we have, you see, so it still goes, keep on going or off the screen, so we don't want that. So we can actually fix that. So to fix that, I'm going to use max lines. I'm going to set this 5. Basically, this is the same from WhatsApp. So WhatsApp use max line of 5, and we just say minimum lines. I'll set that to 1. So let's see what else I need to do. Okay, so our content, still with that array, content padding, still okay. Top. So we need to keep that 0, and so yeah. So we're going to border section. Yeah, still leave our border the way it is. So hint text is still the same. Hint style. So we still leave that the same way. So surface icon is still the same. Surface icon constraints is still the same. And let's go ahead and save this and see what we did. Let's type this again. You see? So that moves to the next line. You see? So unlike before, so that it doesn't go to the next line, you just keep on typing, and everything goes on the screen. Right now I can just scroll up and see what you typed. Up, down, and you can see what you type. And yeah, so that's the fix we are trying to add in our test field. I think we're done with the fixes for our test field. And so go ahead and delete this. Head over to our chat room screen, which we still have here. and then other stuff are done with. So let's go and work on position our chat box here. So I'm going to comment this out, which is now showing up here. I'm going to remove the position widget from there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this position widget. We don't need it. Keep this. So instead of so because if you remove the position widget, this will try to take the remaining full size of the screen. We don't want that. So we could just, for now, we just wrap this. And you see this is also starting from the up here. So wrap it to transform dot translate. So if you just use translate to move it down, and add a comma right here and inside here. So our translate is looking for offset, pattern offset, and so we just say start on the horizontal axis. So along this axis, we want to push this down here, and we just say want this to be around 59. Go ahead and save that. Now it's now pushed it down, and it's starting from here. And next we could just use to start fixing what we have here. Also, if you look at this build chart right now, the build chart is actually just a container. That's why it's taking the full width, but we need to go like make this to be a list view builder, understand, so that it will be multiple cards inside a list view, not a single card. And okay, so I shift that. We just go in here. So this is what our card looks like right now. Copy this out. Okay. Go ahead and copy this. So just stop here, copy that out. Go ahead and add a list view builder right here. Just a list view dot builder, and you see, and in here inside our builder we have a builder function that has a context and an index, and let's open up the function body, and right in there we return something we are going to call chart item, and let me just go below somewhere, still inside our main parent class. I'm going to create a widget. I'm going to call that get message item. It's going to return this for us. So this is basically our card. This card we just copied here, and we added into a new widget called get message item. And right here inside our build charts, and build charts. Let's change the name. That doesn't matter. You could just leave it the way you find the way you want. So I'm going to call this get message item. And right here, I'm going to add an item count. For now, we're going to say I've got it, so I wanted to show us 10 card for now. Leave that way, and go ahead and use this in here in place of this one. So we just change the name, nothing much, and just kind of like made our code a little bit reusable, and that makes sense. So just go ahead and leave it this way. But we're still going to convert this, understand, to a stateless widget. But for now, let's save this so you can see what we are doing. Go ahead and save this, and you see, so you have your multiple cards in there, and no longer one single card. And next we could do is to wrap this. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this with a container, and I'm going to say width to take the full okay, so width I'm going to say height. I want you to take the full height of the string right here, but I still want it, so kind of like so if you scroll up, it will scroll up to this level and not right here, so that this stuff we have here will not be blocking it. So that's what we're trying to do. You see, if you look, you see that it's actually blocking it, and we don't want it to be blocking it that way. And so you just say use media query, that's something we need to do before that. Okay, guys, so I'm just trying to see what I think we needed. Okay, let's go back to what we did. So basically, still in our right here, I'm going to say dot of context dot size dot height. We're going to minus almost the height of this widget here from this total number of the stream size, and from the calculation I did, so that should be I already did the calculation on my own, so that should be around 208 pixels. We are going to minus, save that, and there we go. And so if you scroll up, you see, and it's no longer being blocked by this screen right here. And I think we could actually increase it a bit more. I'll just leave it this way. So next we could do is add a padding. I'm going to use edge insert dot and symmetric, say horizontal padding. Should be around 16.0. So we have that, and so our list view the builder, which is right here with us. So right now, let's go ahead and format our card here. And we're going to call it card chat bubble, which is this. Go ahead and copy that out. Copy that. And inside here, we're going to create let me see. So our chat folder, we're going to create a new folder called our widgets. Okay, save that. And in there, we're going to create a file for our chat bubble. I need to call that chat underscore bubble dot that. And this will basically be a stateful widget. Maybe we want to, because we're going to add animation to that later on. And we could just leave it stateless. Let's make it stateless. I'm going to call that chat bubble. There we go, chat bubble. And inside your build method, let's start adding something that we want to return. For now, let's go ahead and return this. And remove what we have here. Go ahead and import material widget package, which is this one, import that. And that will fix most of the errors we have. And let's go ahead and fix this. Also import this. And save that. For now, let's go ahead and use that inside get message item. Close that off, save. We still see that we don't have any errors going on, everything is working. But let's go over here and fix what we have here. So first of all, we are going to cover our container, wrap it inside an alignment widget called align. Use the alignment, and we want to align this based on some parameters I'm going to be passing in. So first one, let's say final. We call this final string, call that message, and the next one, a boolean variable called is new. Add that to our constructor right here. So right now, depending on the user who sent the message, either this container is positioned here or is positioned at the left hand side or at the right hand side. So you're going to say, if I'm the one that sent the message, which is me, I want the alignment to the center right, but if it's not me, I want the alignment to the center left. And so this is going to throw some error, which you have to fix here. So it needs us to provide those features. I'm going to say for now, let's just make it I'm trying to see how we could do this. So we could say when the user is not me and when the user is me. And for now, let's just have code it. Let's say message. For now, should be a string. Say hello, and it's me, which is the boolean. I'm going to say true. Basically, it's going to be aligned display. Save that, and see our message is aligned towards this end. And there's a chat bubble. Let's just fix some stuff up. So want the width to be 200. So yeah, it looks small. Yeah, and padding, leave the padding at 16, and we could just add margin. I'm going to use margin symmetric edge insert dot symmetric right here, and we don't want the horizontal margin, we just want the vertical margin, which we're going to leave at 10. Save that, and you can see so there will be spaces around each chat bubble. So if you scroll up, see yeah, and also you can see that the chat bubble is now scrolling all the way to this top, which is what we need. It's working fine, so that's good. Let's see some other changes we need to make here. So we have the decoration box decoration, and we will change the color based on if it's me. So I'm going to say it's me, it's true, keep the color this way. But if it's not me, I'm going to leave the color to be pure white, so pure white color, so leave it that way. And we have the border radius, which is also correct, so we don't need to change anything. Save. You see that you don't have any issue. So but let's see when the message is not actually me. So we set this to false. Save that, and you can see, so the message is in position right here. So this is if the message is not me, so the message will start being shown around this area, which is working good, and I like this. So just keep this way. And if it's me, my own, we align here, let's change it back to it's me. So it's back here, so which is good. Our chat bubble is looking good. Let's keep on seeing what we could change. For the alignments, I'm going to say box axis alignment dot start. Yeah, so the whole text will start from the beginning. And still in here, this text here, we're going to replace that with message parameter we created up there. So we call this message. It's been hard coded, and the text style we just leave it the same way it is. Scroll up, we have this section for our time, and maybe we could leave this way for now. Later on we could just change it. So that's it for our chat bubble. Save that, and there we go. So it's now using the text from here. This hello text is one being displayed right here. So that's it. Next stuff will be actually being able to tap something in here. Yeah, tap something in here and submit it. Let's work on that. So first thing we could do, let's go. So chat bubble right in our get message, and want to actually use a real text message. That's what we're trying to do. So when the user opens this, the user can type something in here and submit that, and there will be, we will do that right here in our custom chat field right here. Let's start working on that. So I'm going to have placeholder. Next, we're going to use the unchange function we created. For that unchange, the unchange, and right here I have function that returns a test, but okay, let's say it returns an optional test. Basically an optional string, I'll just call that text or something like that. And so here we are going to be getting so here is when the user is done typing. Right here we want to change this icon here, this icon right here, to change to something like send icon, which we could see in our design. So somewhere in our design here, let me show you guys. Yeah, I want to show you where that is being done. Okay, yeah, we get that. So we want, when the user is done typing, or when the user is starting typing, we want to show this icon or this icon color there. But I think this will make sense to show this one. So we hide this. So when the user opens this or start typing, we hide this and show this. When they clear out this, we hide this one and show this one. So that's what we want to do. and how to do that. And first of all, we need to download this. Um, let's go ahead and download this icon we have here. This icon, I could download that by basically going all the way here. So there's the icon, and click add preview, and you just export. Make sure I just increase the size and click export it to download. But I won't download it because I've already downloaded this in my previous on my own. So I'll just go ahead and start using that. Let me just copy it from there. And so go ahead and here inside our image folder, open that up inside images. So right inside images, I'm going to paste it, and to just paste. Okay, looks like it didn't paste. Okay, I think I just go ahead and download this back again, and click export to download that, and close this off. Go over here, open it, not this one, close that. I'm going to new finder window, and right here under our download section. So go ahead and unzip this. So yeah, I think I downloaded it before. I think this should be it. But let's unzip the new one we downloaded. Unzip that. And right in there, so there's our icon. We're going to change that. Rename it to something called send icon. So that should be the name I'm going to call it. Right now, I can just drag this and drop it right here. And there we go. We have our send icon right here in our images. So let me just close it off. Next is to add our icon inside our images file, which is brand images. So right here, we are going to go ahead and add the icon that we just downloaded right now. Just yeah, so right here I'm going to have a new static keyword variable. I'm going to call this k-icon send icon, and the image is basically going to be the same, send icon. There we go. So send icon don't be PNG, so just leave it as send icon. Make sure it's the same name of the image you have here, send icon. So we don't need the extension right here. So go ahead and save this, and let's go over to our charts room, which is here, and so we're going to have a way to conditionally render this or the previous one. So we have the image assets. What we need to do is to, I can just go to chart controller, our chart controller, and create a variable that we conditionally toggle. So these are charts controller right in here. And I'm going to go ahead and create a toggle right here, and we're going to call that show send icon or hide send icon, something like that. So that's basically what the toggle will be doing. Final rx rs boolean on show send should send button. So that will be the name of the button. But we want this to be kind of like observable. So we're going to set this first .obx. So that will be basically observable. And another stuff we could do is to create some helper functions. So this will be called set set show so we have set show send button, which accepts a boolean variable and set that to this to toggle the show button on and off. And the next will be a helper function called get to get helper to get access to this variable we created here because we made it private. So we're going to call get show send button. So it helps us get the variable back. I could just go ahead and use this in our chat room screen, which we have here. So you could just say to dynamically render this, below it we say underscore chat controller dot get show button, and that will return either true or false. So I'm going to say if it's true, we want to use custom circle firebase custom circle button that we created previously. Yeah, this one. I want to use that, and it's requiring some parameters that we need to add to it. And let's say this one, this. We want to use an extra else, so I'm going to say else. We want to render this one right here, and that will fix the problem that we're having. So if this show button is true, show a circular custom circle button for toggling and sending messages. But if it's not, show an email and show this particular button right here. So let's start with replacing this image. So that image will be from brand image. Brand image is the send. So that should be send icon, this one. Unplexed, the unplexed method will just pass in a dummy method from now. Leave that like that. And then the next one will be the radius. So we're going to set the radius to be 19.0. So just say 19.5. Okay, let's say 19.5. And background radius, we're going to set that to 20. Set the background radius to 20. That should be 20.5. So I'll format this code and save this. So we should have a way to kind of like toggle this on and off. I'm going to say when you use the start typing inside here, and we just say something like okay, there we go. So that's the code we need to write. Format this. So we say if there's an unchanged, so inside the unchanged method in our custom field right here, and we are checking if there's something going on. Maybe the user is typing something. That's what we are checking, and we are going to say chat dot set show button to for now let's just Okay. Yep, so just leave it this way. Okay, if the test is not empty, set it to false. And no, that's not the code I want to write. We could just say it's not that false. Yeah, and we could just do conditionally, because that's that stuff we'll be doing here. I will just say if test dot um okay, if test dot is empty, if it's empty, just go ahead and also wrap this. If it's empty, it's true. Go ahead and do something like this. So it's empty, set it to false. But if it's not empty, set it to true. And but before we set it to true, we could just say else if want to check do something, because we don't want this to be being called multiple times, right? So we just say if test is not empty, and we want to check the text length. So yeah, text dot length. I'll make sure that it's kind of like equal to 1, should be equal to 1 before we run this. So right now, before this code will only be run only when our test dot is not empty. Test dot is not empty and just 1. If the test length is equals to 1, this code will run. So if you keep on typing, it will not run again, it will stay like that. But if you start clearing your test field, and it becomes 0, that means it's empty, this one will run, this code will run there. Let's go ahead and test that out. And here we go. So try that out, type something. For some reason we are not getting any activity. Okay, the reason why we are not getting any activity is because this is not, we are not calling any set states right here, so we don't need set states. To get this to be reactive, we have to wrap it with obx and return basically this. And now if you go ahead and test this out again, which basically worked, but let's go back, close this, and right here. So let's go ahead and delete. You see, so if the text is empty, this shows up, but if you start typing something, this shows, which is the button we are talking about. But we are having some issues right here. Let's go ahead and fix those issues, because this button we added is basically making this to be overflowed. So we are going to make changes to some property called image height, image width, and then padding. And we're going to say image height to be 22.5. And then we tap into image width. So the image width, we're going to set that to be 19, not 19, so it should be 16.88. So mostly let me let you guys know I'm mostly getting this from previous test I did. So go ahead and save that. But there's some issue right now that we need to fix, and we could fix that by adding a variable called padding, which we don't have right now. And we're going to set that padding to be edge insect dot zero. So we are going to go inside here and add this variable called padding. So right in here, go to definition, and right here we're going to have a variable called padding that we're going to use in place of padding we have here. So we call that final, and we're going to say it will be an edge insect optional padding, and we're going to use that right here. The this that padding, and the initial value will start being this we have here. Okay, then and add a padding variable right there. So the variable start being equal to this. That we could constant to have that. Let me see. So go ahead and force unwrap this to fix that issue. Since we know we have an initial variable right here, go ahead and save that. And let me see if there's any issue we're fixing. Okay, save this. And you can see our issue is fixed. We are no longer having the overflowed issue right here, because like I said, the what is causing that is that because we are in here, which are custom secure button, and we have these padding widgets in there, which is also good for other places we use this button, because we have been using this button on other screens. But right now, if we leave it at this padding we specified here, it's going to cause an error, overflowed error right here, and we don't need that. That's why we removed it and made it possible that we could actually add our own padding to the button. So this actually makes our button more reusable in other places where we could just use change a lot of stuff about it. So that's one thing good with reusable code and reusable widget component or UI component in front end development. So go ahead and close that off. So let's go back here, chat room screen, and we are able to fix this too. So if you delete this, so this goes back to this icon, and let's say there's something else we need to work on. And yeah, the next one will be to start implementing in such a way that we could actually type a message and send that, and you can see that in our backend in our Firebase. So let's go ahead and do that. So right here in our chat controller, which is this, and so below here, I'm going to create a function. So I'm going to create a function called so it's actually a stream, a function that returns a stream, and a stream of type that we want is basically a list of message, a list of type called message chat. So we're going to create that letter. So we have this model, message chat model, which we are going to create. This function name is going to be called get all messages. All messages for now. We're going to call this function in our lifecycle method right here. Get X and controller lifecycle method called already. So that should be already what. So I don't know why it's not suggesting that. Okay, yeah. So in here already, go ahead and delete this and uncomment this out and call this method So we're not just going to call it right here, but we're going to bind it to another variable, and that's going to, we're going to call that a list, or observable list of the rx list of type. So the type is still going to be message chat, which we created here, and call that conversation. To call that conversation list, set that to be empty list of type, still give it type here, which is basically message chat, which shall appear. And let's go ahead and create this message chat first. Right here in our chat folder, we are going to create a model folder, and for that model, inside the model we're going to create a folder, a file called message underscore chat. So that, so there we go. And in here we have our message model. So let's go ahead and create a class for the, copy that. Yeah, so this is the name, which is our message model. I'm going to go ahead and create each field, the message chat model field. But basically I'm going to copy something over instead of creating it here, so we can just speed up time. So just copy this. I'm going to go ahead and paste it right here. So here is it. So it has a field. Our message model has a field called message UID sent from. So who ID of the person that is sending the message, and the ID of the person we are sending to, and again the timestamp, the time the message was sent, and the content, which is the message itself, and the type of message it is, either is a image, GIF, or text. So this will be telling us what that is. And again we have a boolean variable called read message, so which is going to tell us if the message has been read or not. So that's all we need. So in here, create a constructor, and here's our constructor, and we're going to make every single thing here to be required by adding required modifier at the back. Yeah, so do the same for other ones. Copy that. Do the same here. Do the same here. And also right here. Also right here, and there we go, and the comma. So I'm going to mark this to look this way. And again we have to be able to kind of like model our message from actually a map, firebase document map or something like that. So you already suggested something to us, and to accept that. Let's see if that looks like what we want. And so a map, we just don't want to set a type for it, we just call that a map of type. The name of the map is going to be data, so the type is map, the name is data. And in here add the required property, which is going to call UID, call that UID, and it's going to be a string. There we go. And then the message UID is basically going to be what we just created right here, which is UID. And again, we create all the JSON stuff with data. And I could say if this is empty, but it shouldn't be empty, so just use it. Do the same. The type. So do the same for the type. Read. And yeah, we do the same for the read. And there we go. Right now we create another function that's going to help us to model that to JSON. And that will be to JSON, which has this type, string and dynamic, called to JSON, which is going to return ID from, but it didn't add this, which you need to add that. So you're going to have message UID, add message UID. There we go. And yeah, message UID. And another one we could do, so we have several helper functions. So we have this one from a map itself. Another one we could do to make stuff easy is that we could just get that directory from firebase documents snapshot, and we could do that by creating a factory from message chat dot from document snapshot doc. I'm going to say message chat dot from document, and UID is document dot UID. That way you could just model a message chat using that. See, go ahead and import that. And okay, just remove this, and we're going to return. Okay, let me just copy it over. Copy this over. So I have a string called UID, and yeah, document ID from doc.get this key on this value from the document, and once we got that, we could just use that to create a new message chat. Instead of saying from JSON, say new message chat. Then we're going to populate it using what we just created so far. I will just say message ID will just become UID, and the rest of them. So we have ID from ID2, timestamp from timestamp, and again content. So everything has been used in its place. So basically what we are doing is that we are kind of like this function we created here is kind of doing similar stuff with this one we created here, but the difference is that right here we are passing a parameter of type map, which is going to look like a key value pair, and right here, but before we pass that, we want to kind of like do some stuff on our Firebase to kind of like get a map of each collection of the return data. But right here we don't need to do much stuff. We just pass in the document snapshot of our Firebase, and this right here will do the rest for us, which is document.get this stuff right here. So that's two different stuff. The two different difference between these two methods. So you could decide to use this, or you could decide to use this one. Anyone you choose, I'm still gonna help you get the same achieve the same stuff. So right here under here, we're going to create a new class, another class called message, type of message, that type message, and I haven't put that up, so I'm going to say static constant, and so in test, which is going to be 0, and image is going to be 1, video is going to be 2, audio is going to be 3, file is going to be 4, and sticker, all those stuff. So we just have this for now. And go ahead and make the constructor private since we don't want it to be instantiated in any other place. Use that like that. And close that. So we are done with the message model. We can just head over here in our chat controller. So go ahead and import this to fix those errors, you see. So those are being fixed. So right now in our function right here, so we're going to make a call to Firebase here. Make a call to Firebase, and we're going to say this guy going to say return. Okay, something. Firebase database. Just add that over here, top here. So we have this file store, Firebase file store. So this Firebase file store we added. So we are using get.find to find these Firebase file store objects. And then we made it private. And right now I'm going to go ahead and use that right here, not this, just call Firebase file store db, then go to inside there, say dot, and collection, start with collection. Okay, can this is the code we want to write, so I suggested it. Let me go ahead and we have Firebase inside the correction we want, and so let's create a constant that will help us map all this stuff out, and that constant will be somewhere folder. So there's a util folder. It's a new constant file here. I'm going to call that firestore constant dot that, and in there we're going to say create a class for that class firestore firestore constant. Okay, good to go. Make this private, and under there we need to create copy some constant variables. So there we go. So we have paths to the user collection will be this. So this is our collection in our database, how it looks like. I could actually access them rather than typing it out, so I won't make a mistake. Go ahead and use this Firebase collection here, right here, instead of charts. I'm going to say, we're going to go to the collection Firebase constant dot path, which is okay. Let's import this first. So we say Firebase firestore constant of Firebase. So firestore constant dot message collection. Okay, the path to the message collection, which is this here, and the collection will be created somewhere. Close this down. Okay, yeah. So we have this for our projects. So let's load it on. So we're going to have a collection called, so right now we have users and psychologists, which we have here, psychologist and user, but we're going to create another collection called messages here, but that will be created dynamically in our code. We don't need to explicitly create it here, so we're going to hide this. So that's it. So we are going to go to the collection called message collection, and inside the message collection we want to do some other stuff. So because it will be a nested collections. Move this out and copy some code in. And I format this. So we go to the collection, the first outer collection called message collection. We access the document with this ID that we're going to create. So the ID is called group chat ID. So the chats between the two people, and this ID will be created using their IDs. And we go to another, inside the document there's another collection which has the same name with this group ID, and there we're going to return everything by ordering it using the timestamp and the sending order, and limits 30 messages per each call, and get a snapshot, worker shot, and we're going to call message chat.format. But I don't think that's what we have here. So what we have here is message from JSON, but we don't convert that to the message from map. That makes no sense since we are passing with map data. Then right here, that will fix this error we have here. And so let's go ahead and inside this method, right inside this method that we're going to call, we're going to create a variable, or we just make it final, a final variable called group chat ID, and we get this group chat ID from basically, let's say, a combination of different stuff. So for now we'll be getting to our chat so we get into our chat page by here. So if you click over here, so this should actually take us to the chat page. So the reason why we are starting from here is because right here in our chat screen here, this only will be populated only when we have chatted with someone. We can't just search here and start chatting with someone. So we just have to start chatting with a psychologist from here, which is basically here to chat with any psychologist by clicking on over here. So when we click over here, we want to get this user, this psychologist ID, and again with the ID of the current user which is using this app, and we're going to call that to the group chat ID, and that will look similar to this. So let me get so this is what it will look similar to. Not similar, so it's the same thing. So this is how it should be. And we're going to create this stuff that is causing error. So basically we have to add our authentication controller and our home controller, because that's where we're getting these two stuff from. And how to do that is right here. Top over here, let's add our auth controller final. For that auth is our auth controller. We start the okay, not actually our auth control, so that should be from firebase auth itself. So under here we're going to say final firebase auth. So yeah, let it go. So we're going to be called auth. SwiftUI to get.find. Yeah, so get.find. Then we fix this error and the second error, which is home controller, and then we can go ahead and add our home controller. We're going to make it final. There we go. So this should be our home controller, and underscore home controller go get.find. remove that underscore so it will match to what we have here, but that's going to be another error. So right now it's telling us that it doesn't have this method, this value called open chat with ID. So it doesn't have this variable in our auth control. It doesn't exist. That we should create that, or we should just remove this if that's not what we want to do. So we have to do that because we want this variable to be inside our home controller. What we could do is just get straight to our home controller. We should have it somewhere. I will just go ahead and open it up. So that will open it up here. And right in here, we're going to create a variable, which will be the chat controller. Okay, put that side by side. So create a variable called open chat with ID. And so there's a home controller. Go over here, under here, create an RX string, which we're going to call open chat with ID, and which is going to be a string like this. Go ahead and save that, and let's see, go that right. So if I want to dynamically change something, so we just make that to be X. String. Let's do that way. If that makes sense. I'll just leave it to be observable. There's not much difference, so just leave it this way. So we could just actually update it at any time we want, and this will be the ID of the psychologist that we'll be kind of like chatting with. So go ahead and save that, and we could create some helper function right here, and right here, and one of the helper function will help us to kind of like update the ID. It's going to be a void. We call that set. So let me just copy that over. So this is what it is. So we call that void set open chat with. So basically what it's going to do is going to update this open chat with ID value with the selected psychologist right here, dot value of that particular psychologist that is being selected, and then it's going to push, and it's going to push this to the new screen called chat room. This, and then by also sending an argument called selected psychologist dot value, which is what we need. Go ahead and save that, and we can make use of this method inside our home test page. So go ahead and open our home details page, which will be from our home folder. Here we go somewhere. So see, where is it one? Okay, yeah. So there you go. Main home page details screen. Right in there, we're going to call the method or function. So that should be on this icon here, chat icon. You see, shouldn't go straight down there. Should be somewhere up here. Okay, let me search that out. So that should be called custom circle. Yeah, there we go. So this should be it. We could test that out to see this actually what we're looking for. Go to the debug section, close this off, and then we could just say this for now should print something to the screen for us. Say hello, and we can go ahead and tap on this. You see, so it's printing hello to the screen, so which is what we want. So what we could just do is to add that function that we want right here by calling home controller dot this. There we go. Go ahead and save that. And yeah, so if you tap on this right now, it will take us to our chat details page, our chat room. So this is our chat room. So if you go back here, we are tap on this, it takes us here. But right now in our chat room screen, which is this, we have here, and in the controller section, so this is our chat controller. So you could get access to this home controller open chat ID the value of it, pairing it with the current user, which is me or anyone who is currently using the app to get access to the psychologist. I will call that group ID, and going to use that here, and then right now we're going to call that function, this method right here, and bind it to this conversation list. So whenever there are changes to this collection, this will immediately update itself. But we don't want to, so that we won't have to kind of like be calling a method to always update something whenever someone sends a message. But since we are going to call this a stream, so it's going to have, the binding is basically going to listen to this stream in this collection, so that whenever changes is added there, it will just kind of like update itself. So I'll call that, that's called conversation list from bind stream, and the stream we are going to bind is called get our messages. So there we go, and go ahead and save this. What's going to happen because right now we're just encoding this stuff here, but if we want to make use of this, what we have here, what we could do is to just use this conversation list in our list, in our chat home screen right here. So inside our chat home screen, and remember the list view we created, which should be this, and we created that somewhere. What did I do? Okay. So we created that somewhere. Yeah. So this is it, and we are currently have coding 10 messages to show this to us. But right now we want to dynamically show this, and so the first step to do that will be removing this, changing this to our chat controller, and changing that one to conversation list.length. And if you go ahead and hit enter right now, and you see nothing will be shown again. So basically we don't have any messages, so that's why this is being hidden and everything is kind of like, so the message field is empty because we haven't had any interaction with this user or anyone so far. Right now there's some issue. If you look, you see that this is still showing the same user. Even if you tap on anyone, it's going to kind of like show the same user we had coded. But we could fix that up before we start fixing our chat fixtures. So what we could do right here, we could say over here, change this name, inside our init function, we go to create a variable up here, create a variable called the variable is going to be assigned to it. I'm going to call that psychologist model, which will be called selected psychologist, and right in here, so import this first, So this will help us to kind of like dynamically change the psychologists whenever we tap on them. And to do that, we have to assign this selected psychologist to basically the argument that we passed in when we click that chat icon. So right here, this chat icon, when we clicked on this, remember that is kind of like located in our main home page. Where is it? Yeah, details, which is basically this icon here. When we clicked on this, so we are actually passing an argument to this second screen, and we can get rid of that argument by saying argument. Here we go. Close this off. So that our argument is basically of this type. And yeah. So let's go ahead. So right now we can go ahead and say selected psychologist. But get rid of the name. So the name will be used here. And the name and the next one we could say selected psychologist dot I think there's something called online here that we use to see if the psychologist is online or someone is online. You see. So let's see. There should be a variable called is online. Okay, I think we need to create a variable, and we will need to create that right here in our psychologist model. So inside this model, we're going to add another parameter or field, and we're going to call that field to be a boolean, and that boolean is called is online. So basically I want to use that in our chat to basically change this online feature here to be online or offline, this test. So required this dot is online, and we just pass it here. It's online, and if this is online, no, add it to this first. So just still use that here. It's online. Go ahead and save this. I think we have some error. Let me see if we have any error so far. So we don't have any error with changes we made. Since we added all those in there, and let's see what else we need to do. Yeah, okay. So we just go back here and just use that here. So just say it's online. If this is true, show this text, else show offline. So show this one. Go ahead and save that. And right now, psychologist has not been initialized. Another. And let's go ahead and see what else we need to change. So the next one will be this image right here. And for us to, what I'm going to use cached image package. So I'm going to use this package called cached network image package. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to add that to our app from our terminal. I'm going to say is that code, and then hit enter. That's going to install this for our app, and there we go. I think we are done with the installation. Okay, yeah. So we could just uncomment this and go ahead and use cached network image. But I'm going to copy that because I already have that written somewhere. So place that in there and remove this images. So I used that in my previous project, so I need that. But we're going to keep this one. So right here, go ahead and import the cached network we added. Import that, and there we go. And let's see what else we need to change. Okay, so far we don't need to change any other stuff. Go ahead and remove this one right here. Go ahead and save this. But we have to restart our app. There we go. Right now, so our chat controller is again. So here's a chat controller, and since we added this here, so let's go ahead and test this out again. So tap on this and tap on this. You see the details are being changed, are being used here. So you have the psychologist name, the offline test. But right now the image is not showing up. Let's see why that is not actually not showing up. So I'll select the psychologist.user image. Yeah. And scroll down. Okay. Height. Start this up. So while our app is starting, let's go back to our chat controller, which is basically this right here. And right now, when our app is kind of like done, we could see it here. Then we should just start working on typing a message here and sending that to our back end and see how that looks like. But before, we can just do that without adding a function, another method here that will help us to do that. But let's wait for this to just run kind of like a start first. That's kind of taking some time. You guys think we need to wait for some maybe in 2 or something like that. I don't know why it's taking this time to start. Did you just crash? Well, saying there's 2 concurrent builds, but there's nothing like 2 concurrent builds here. Let's open that back up again. Turn it up. Hopefully it doesn't say the same message again, because I'm not having 2 concurrent build right here. Come on, come on, you can. Because it's telling me there's two concurrent boot. Let's try running it from here and then run it again from our VS Code because this shouldn't be happening. So now I'm not having like two concurrent builds going on. I just go for this to finish indexing. I'll run it from our S code. Yeah, and also guys, if you guys kind of like try building the app on your own after the episode with me, so and you guys gonna like run into an error or something like that, just let me know on the comment section and tell me what went wrong. Also, if you can provide a screenshot, I will help you guys out to figure that out. And yeah. Most of the times when I kind of like have this error, I just kind of run the app from S code, and after running it from S code, the error starts showing up, and I can run it from VS code. So that's why I open the S code to run the app and see what's going on and see if it's going to run, and it actually did run on for you using this code. So that means we are not going to have the same error again if you run it for VS Code. That's how I actually used to fix that issue. Should be able to start showing up in a few seconds. Okay, come on. Almost spent close to 5 minutes trying to fix this issue. That's quite some time taking. Okay, I think it's succeeded. And the app is showing up after building it from S code. Something is wrong somewhere because the images are not showing up. Okay, can see that right now. In this one, click on this, and now because it's not showing up now. So I think don't know what went wrong previously, but now we can verify that the image is showing up. So just go close this off, close this, and open up our VS Code back on, and we can just run this from VS Code. Okay, hopefully we don't have to wait for that much time for this to build. it's kind of painful right now. Kind of posting everything I'm doing just for VS Code to build up. VS Code to build our app. I don't know what just happened. If this is going to not going to build, I think we're going to run the app on Android simulator. So I'll just figure out what's going on. Come on. I'm going to go ahead and select Android simulator. Okay, let's try running an app on our Android simulator, and hopefully this runs faster here than what we're experiencing. So let's keep it 2 minutes. We start pushing to see what's going on here. Okay, this actually stopped. So Android build just stopped building for some reason. Okay, before I do that, let's try some stuff here. Maybe erase our S code simulator. Let's see. Okay, guys, sorry, it looks like my audio just kind of stopped working for a bit. Let's go back to over here, create a new simulator. Let's try this in a new simulator and see if we're still going to have the same issue. This will be iPhone 13, just iPhone 13 Pro, and not the Pro Max. And just say iPhone 13 Pro, and can create that array. Go ahead and create that. Okay, finally we decided to build after taking about almost 10 minutes of our time or more than. Okay, let's go ahead and continue what we're doing. And there we go. Okay, the image is showing up and the names are being changed. You could go back, select a different psychologist, and that will actually update right here. The image will change, and also we have the name offline. So that's it. So next thing we could do is just fix this typing so that we could just start chatting with someone, and we could create a method that will help us to do that in here. I'm going to call that send message, and I'm going to copy some code and explain that. Since we have much time, so let's see. I could just write it. Let's just write it out. Let's get ready to type out some stuff. I'll call that void send message. So that's the name of the function. And inside that function, we're going to pass in some variables, some parameters to it. And just did this. I just remember coding on Rust programming language, thinking of how to do memory allocation, and I thought I was in Rust when I was talking about the parameter for the function. So I have the string content, and I have the int, create an int type, and I'll have the string group chat group out on that string in there, which we're going to call current user ID. Last string we have another string called peer ID. So that's called peer ID. This. So inside here, these are method body. So already have this. So let's go ahead and start using that here. What we could do now is to create a variable called document. It's called document reference from firebase. Called document reference. And is equals to firebase database. It should be basically from here. Okay, so I have access to our firebase database, and we are getting to the collection called message collection. Yeah, message collection, and we get the document with the ID, which we are going to get from this. And again, inside you have another collection with this ID, And then we're going to create another document using date.now as the ID. That will be for the message. And then under here, we're going to create a message chat object called message chat, which is going to look like this. And inside our message chat, we have message, we have the contents. Let me see. Um, so our contents basically is just going to come from um, did we create that? Okay, we have type, message type, and next we're going to have timestamp. So our timestamp, yeah, for milliseconds, yeah, that's it. Sender ID, so it's not called sender ID, so it's going to be called ID from, which is the current user, which is me, then ID2, which is the peer ID, and with those being created, we just say, okay, yeah, after creating the message object itself. So right here, let's go ahead and add that to our firebase calling using this function. So firebase firestore, which is this dot instance dot run transaction. So create this called run transaction to make transaction. Basically, transaction is basically writing to the database or returning something from the database, basically using transaction or set or transaction you'll get for those operations. Right now we're going to say await for transaction dot set document reference and then message chat dot to JSON, convert a message to JSON and then add it to a database. Then we're going to have then function under this. So under this we're going to call .then on it. Under this one. So it's going to be called .then. And in here, so when everything has succeeded, we could just say yes, for another printing message, we could just say the conversation has been created. Conversation has been sent, yeah, and after that we are going to write some stuff. So let's do some stuff here. So basically, want to check. Another stuff we could do is I want to check if our user already has like right here in our collection, in our firebase collection, which is this. So I added some parameter here called, let me close this. So I have this parameter called conversation. So these are array that basically keeps adding whenever you start chatting with a new psychologist, it will add the psychologist ID. Yeah? So that means people you are chatting with, basically everybody you are chatting with, you have sent a message to will be inside there. And again, for the psychologist, so when psychologists get a message or someone is starts chatting with a psychologist, so psychologist will also have her own, these are own array here that contains anybody that is chatting with him or her. So this is for it. And what we could do, since we added that, we could go to get inside here. We get hold of our conversation list. So call that conversation list, and that is going to be from basically from auth controller, which we didn't add yet, but we could just add that. So there we go. Call that auth controller. Get that, add that here. Makes sense to add it here instead of doing this. So just add final auth controller, and there we go. There it is. But if I want to put that, just find that. Just fine. So there we go. Next we should do under here, inside our auth controller, we just tap into a property called Firestore user. Inside the Firestore user, we are going to get hold of the value, which is of type user model. No, that's not it. So it's called user model. There we go. And conversation list. Yeah, we're going to do an if statement on that. So we're going to say if conversation list dot conversations dot contains, so that should be a list that contains peer ID, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Peer ID. So this could be either true or false. So if it's equals to false, then we will just add that user to the conversation list we have for Psychologist and also for our current user right here. That's what we're trying to get to. And right now we are getting some errors. Basically, it's telling us that it doesn't recognize this on user model. So there's nothing called conversations on our user model, that we need to add that by ourselves. I'll just copy that over on our user model. Go over there. We need to add another field called final list of type dynamic, so it could be anything. Product conversations we are required here. Go ahead and add that, and also do that right here. Okay, if it's empty, that's an empty array. And finally, we do that here. Go ahead and save that. I think this will show some errors we need to fix. So first of all, over here, we're going to add conversation to be a list of string. Save that. And the next we could do is right over here. I think, yeah, we don't really ever fix it. Okay, is a model. Okay, so here we go. Right now, should actually not give us an error. So we say that contains so should be contains peer ID. If it's equals to false, then we're going to go ahead and add that peer ID to, like what I said before, to the psychologist and user peer ID field in their collection in the database. So I'm just going to copy a code which I'm going to explain. So right here, so right over here, we just copied this over. So basically what this code is saying is that what we are doing here, we are checking to see if this user is actually in the list of the people we are having conversations with, which should be here or on over here. If it's not, so we just skip over and do nothing. But if it's not there, we should add that user as a new user, as a new person that we'll be chatting with, and also do that for the psychologist collection. And after that, we could just target cache, error cache, and if there's an error, we could just go ahead and print the error message to the screen. There we go. Go ahead and save that. And let me see what I'm missing here. Okay, let's see. On the message ID, and we have another one called read message. As read message, turn that to be false, set that to false. And message UID is the same as our timestamp, because that's the same stuff we're doing here. And there we go. I'll save this, and we could just go ahead and start testing this out. But before we do, we need to use this. Let me see. Okay, we just add required at the back. Required at the back of all this. The same here. The same here. Okay, there we go. Save that. And next we're going to create a function like here. We're going to call that, going to be a void, and we're going to call that submit chat. So help us to submit our chat, and in there I'm going to pass in the pair. Going to be a string, call that pair ID. There we go. So string pair ID in here. So let's go ahead and use an if statement for this. So we're going to check first of all to see if our chat field controller is empty. So we're going to say chat. Okay, we messed up something here. Okay, yeah. Here we go. So if chat field controller dot test dot is not empty, so that should be it's not empty. It's not empty. If it's not empty, so we are going to go ahead and call let's say final group chat ID. So call that group chat ID, this, and that will be a string that looks like this. So our current user, which is me, that is sending a message, and the person I want to send a message to. And when that is created, go ahead and call this send message function, send message, and right in here. So the content, which is the message content that we're going to send, is going to be chat from chat controller. And then copy this, paste it in there to be fast. Dot text, and then the type of message for now we're going to have credits, or we're going to get that from type message. So type message is going to be a text, and once we do that, so we have the group chat ID. So the current user should be basically the same stuff we did here. So just copy this. And lastly, we have the peer ID, which we already have somewhere here. I'm going to make this to be required, fix those errors, and else. So we don't need to add an else statement. So we're only going to do this if this is not empty. Else, no, do nothing. And for now, we could just constant statement, or we could just leave it. Okay, let's just leave this and go ahead and test this out. Save that, copy this, and head over to our chat screen, which is this, and then in the second button, which is this button right here, when we start typing. Okay, why is this not showing up? Whenever you have that error issue that the keyboard is not showing up, just to go over here, highlight this, or if this is highlighted, go over and remove it so that it will fix the issue. So right now, look right there, see that it's no longer highlighted. You can just tap on this and the keyboard will come up. So right now, if you tap on this, so this is the button we want to, when we tap on, we could send a message whenever we tap on this. Next we could do is to inside here, we could make a call to this. I call that submit chat, and we could pass in the peer ID, which will be coming from selected psychologist.uid. That should be UID. So there we go. Let's see if you have an issue right here. So go ahead and save this for now. And also whenever we tap a message, we also want this to be cleared out. We don't want anything to be in the chat field here. We want it to be empty, and to make sure that work, we fix that. We could do grateful to the chat controller right here, and here where we are calling send message function. Where we are calling this function send message, we should under it call chat field controller.clear to clear everything out. Save that, and okay, let's try this again. Wherever and select any of these at random, you just go ahead and select this person. Let's chat with this psychologist, click on that. Now we could just go ahead and say something like what was the name? Let's say hello helper. And go ahead and click on this and see this is empty. Now that means our message has actually successfully been sent. Check that there. Let's see that it's true. So we wanna have an error under here. So the error message is basically saying error type no, is not a subtype of list dynamic or functional result. What happened? So I think error is basically for somewhere here. Okay, so let's tap now. Okay, looks like the message wasn't sent because we had an issue right here. So let's check that out in our firebase. Looks like it's sent. So why did it give me an error? So these are messages. Okay, the message was actually sent, and you can see these are messages that was sent right here. And if you look here, and this was not populated or updated with the message that we sent. So that's another issue we want to fix. And before we do that, let's see if this psychology has, so the conversation list is empty. So likewise here. So also likewise here, the conversation list is empty. So basically there's some issue even for ours. Our conversation list is also empty. So basically where we have the error is basically right here. Under here where we, let's see what happened. Because saying us type no is not a subtype of list function. So here we go. With controller the first value, okay, very good. And the value of that, let's see, we should be basically have this conversation list, which is dynamic. And now we are passing in a string which is pair ID, conditionally called that. We suppose it equals to no, and then we could just say go ahead and do this stuff. So we're saying conversations, right, or field value array union, do this, and also in a psychologist path, okay, field array union, do this one. Once we are done with that, if there's an error, go ahead and print the error right here, and let's save that again. For this fix here, how to fix that will be basically going to our chat room screen, and here is our list. So this is our list. We have to wrap our list with OBX so that it will be kind of like dynamically change whenever there's changes. So in here, go ahead and return the list view, do that, save that, and so nothing is still showing up. Just go over and restart this. Okay, probably it won't show up because, okay, let's go and restart this first and see which error will be dealing with or we have fixed. So go ahead and tap on this first psychologist and tap on the chat, and let me see. Print this out, open this up, tap again on the message me here, send, and go this issue. Okay. So the conversation is not in the list, and since it's not there, meaning we are actually having most of this error right here in our chat controller. which means we are doing something wrong. So let's see this. So under um, so firebase files.db database. So in the collection, which is part by user collection for the user, which is me, using this auth calling user.id and to access my own documents, and then update calling update conversations on it to update this feature, to update this field called conversation. Okay, I see. Conversation, and we are updating that by peer ID, right? By peer ID, and also we are doing the same here. But the issue right now is that looks like our peer ID is doing something strange. This is not what it should be doing. This is not what we're looking for. Because right here in our psychologist path, so this is also not been changed because this already caused an error and it just stopped there. Let's see how to fix that. So this is not the ID we should have here. We shouldn't have this ID right here. So let's see where this error is coming from. So I will require string peer ID, right? And sharp field controller is not empty. So if the chart field controller is not empty, go ahead and create a group chart ID with the current user and the peer ID and send message, which is this function, passing in the message from chart controller test and message type and the group chart ID, which is created here, current user ID, which is this, and peer ID, which is this right here. And then we go ahead and clear the chart controller. And let me see inside our message what we have here. Okay, now I see the issue we are having. So inside our message, the peer ID is not being passed into us collection. So that's the issue we're having. So the peer ID, right here in our chat screen, our chat room screen, which is basically over here where we are tapping to submit. Okay, submit chat, which is this icon to submit our chat. The selected psychologist.uid, which should be giving us the UID of the user, is kind of giving us a wrong user, the psychologist UID is giving us this, because this is mine, this is working, but the second ID is not working. So if we just uncomment this out and then just go ahead and start printing the selected psychologist, and print that out first. We'll see what happens here. Psychologist ID, give this, and okay, let's save this. All right? Save this. Let's go ahead and test this out again. Open our simulator. Go ahead and type something here to send. Type send, and then it's passing in the psychologist ID like this. So that's not correct. So we could say that where the error is coming from, which is basically the error is coming from here. Scroll down. It's coming from here because we are consoling that out. We could check that. So this stuff right here, we passed our screen from here. Home details. From this home details section, we were able to kind of like push our user when you tap on that chat button, this one right here. So I'm trying to debug, we're trying to debug this code. So when we tap here, so this is a function that has been called right here. So holding on this, go over to where we created this. So this function has something called open chat ID. Open chat with ID, the value. We selected psychologist, right? Psychologist model, and let's see. Okay. I think we can see the issue. So yes, what's going on. So this is where we are passing the wrong UID, the wrong user psychologist UID, which is right here, and that's actually causing the whole issue. We are not dynamically passing the right user UID from here. So we have to fix this issue right here, or we could just right now hard code a real user, a real psychologist UID, so it could be easy for us to debug them later on. We are before we close up, we could just so right here we need to pass a new user a new psychologist ID. So I could just go over here for now for testing. This is one of the psychologists we have. Copy the UID right here and use that there just for testing, because we're going to remove that. What happened? Okay, so just use this, close that off, and let's go ahead and do another test right now. So over here, tap on this and try this off. Try YouTube, send. Okay, yeah, it's printing this out. Restart this first. Okay, go over here. Yeah, close this. Type something. Send. And now we are getting a psychologist UID, which we had coded here, which is real. But remember, we're going to change this. For now, we are getting this. We can go ahead and pass that in our chat screen. Pass that in here for now. save. So let's go ahead and tap this again. Let's see if we have an error. And there we go. The conversation has been sent. Okay, so if you go back right now, yeah, this is psychologist you copied, and go to the conversation list. You see, this is a conversation and it's chatting with me. So my ID is added here, so meaning the psychologist is chatting with me. And another one is the user right here, which is me. You could see my ID right here also. Yeah, the psychologist ID here means I'm chatting with the psychologist, which is this user, this psychologist right here. And I'm going to delete this one. So right now, the error we are having right now is that our message is not updating, but it should update when we click on this. So if you send another message right now, which is sent, is already sent, then we should actually see this being updated with the messages that we are sending, but that's not working, it's not happening. So meaning there's something actually wrong somewhere that we are not doing right. So here we have our build chat with messages. So right in there we have so let's say trying to see check what I have here. But I think the error should be coming from over here where we have get item using get list miss conversation list dot length. And that's just for the debugging. And the message is not actually showing up, so trend. Let's shake over here. In our chat controller, so these are chat controller section, and see, so we have this RX message chat. That conversation list, which will have the messages of this type, right? And we are using conversation list on bind stream to this stream right here that's returning list of message chats called get all messages, and we are actually getting that from this auth the current user ID, then with this dash right here, home controller chats with ID the value, and we return a message from the map. We return a message from this map, so this should be doing the work, but it looks like this is not actually being called or something like that. I think we could just start our debug here. So right here, just have this over here. So let's go back again. And yeah, just tap on this to go to the message section. Here we go, but this is not being okay, guys. I think we made a mistake. So basically, this chat controller here, we didn't now figure out the error we are having. That's kind of some stupid errors. So basically, what we are doing wrong is that this um, chat controller we created here, we didn't add it to let me see. I think we added it to our chat controller. No, we added it. Okay, we added it to our binding. Okay, I was thinking maybe that's the issue. So that's added in our binding because we are able to use most of these here and call the functions able to access those. And but for some reason, this one function is not being called whenever let's say this controller is being mounted. Let's run this. Okay, let's open this up. I don't know if you guys are seeing this stuff here. So I have this I called here messages stream firestore user, and right here so basically right here this is being called when we start our app up. So when we start our app up, this home controller right here dot open chat with id dot value is not kind of like in existence. So that would basically think that would have to throw an error, but I'm not seeing an error message right here. So let me see. So there's a home controller. So go to the definition. So basically there, home controller, and let's copy this for now and add by default we are going to use that right here for this test. Save down. Right now go over and restart this. Let's see what happens. So you see it's working, so we are getting the test being displayed here, but that's not it. That's not the way we want this to work. That's not the way we want that to work, because when we start from the beginning, since this controller is added in the main binding, which will load immediately the app loads, so it will call this function and it will see it will throw an error, but because we didn't console the error, it wasn't able to tell us there was an error, and that's actually something bad. But I have to kind of like not be doing this, hard coding this stuff, which we are going to change. Right, start changing right now, and also start changing the one we did previously. What we could do is to move the controller, this chat controller, move that to a separate binding. So we have this binding folder right here. So we're going to move that to its own binding, and we're going to call the binding to the chat root binding. There we have it. So create another file called chat_room. underscore binding dot that. There we go. And then go ahead and paste, create a class called chat room, chat room binding, extend binding, not base binding. So I'm going to extend bindings and go ahead and remove all this code right here. You can read them and then import this from get. We have to use overriding method, which is the dependencies, and inside the dependencies I go ahead and call get dot put. We're going to put these dependencies. So the dependence we want to put here is chat controller. So I really want this to be be called whenever we move to this chat room and not when the app loads. So it doesn't make sense we call it when the app loads. So go ahead and create this, and now head over to the main binding and remove this from the main binding. We don't need the chat controller yet. Go ahead and save that. So we save that, and now in the chat room binding, we are going to add this binding to our page, which is this page right here. Remember when we are creating pages and routes? So inside this page file, and here is our chat section, and here is our chat room page. So we're going to tap into the bindings, which is an array, and add this chat room binding in there. We should go ahead and fix the error we are having. Save that. So I have to mark the code and save that again. So I think that's fixed now. So let's go ahead and now reload our app and test it back again. So we shouldn't be able to see this message I was called here for messages when we reload the app. If we still see it, that means we didn't do something right. So we read the app right now. So let's check if we have that message. So it's not longer showing here because it should be above this particular log here. But since it's no longer here, that means we did something right. So to figure this out, you could just tap on this. So we tapped on the first psychologist, which is this, and again, so not to kind of like get ourselves misled, what we could do is just to go over to our chat home controller and remove this. So we had coded this before. Go over and remove that. Save. And again, right now, so right now, when this app is done reloading, go ahead and click on this and click on chat section. So I want to see what we wrote that here. Click on this, and you can see, so it's saying hello, hello, but that's not our message. So to fix that, add our real message there. Go back to chat screen, room screen, which is this. Replace this hard-coded text with get message item. So these are get message item, and in here we should have a variable called a message chat, like this, called a message, and we could use that here for the message. We pass in message. Come on, to say message dot content of the message, and for now I'm going to make this to be required to fix the errors you're having. Required, and I will fix it. So over here I'm going to pass in the message. Let's go back. Yes, put up this. I'm going to tap into the message property. I'm going to pass in the message that we want at this index. And save that. And you can see, so there's our new message from our Firebase backend. So if you open the backend again, okay. So minimize this a bit. So these are our Firebase. There's our message section. Click on that. And we click on this message. Open that. We should be able to see these two messages right here. These two messages. The first one, open it, and you can see. Okay, it looks like that's not the message we need to open, so it should be the first one, I think. Um, so open this. Yeah, yeah. This there we go. So we have this message for the first message there. The second message, which is this, you see the test, which is basically the test we're having here. That means our message property is working. And before we close off, so I need to go and delete this. So we need to delete this. Delete that, this document. Um, so right now we only have what happened. Thought I deleted that. Which was the correction I'm deleting? No. Let's be deleting this, but let's delete everything. So we could run this from the beginning again. Copy this, paste that here. Go ahead and delete. So right now we don't have any message correction. And one other stuff you could do is to go over here in our Psychologist. So this first Psychologist, delete this conversation, which is me. So this should be empty for now. Go to the user section. Over here, delete this. So right now there's no message. And you see this is updated. There's no message showing up yet. So we could just go back, select this user, come back again and type a message. Let's say hello, it's me again. So use that one. So try that. Send. And you see this is cleared. And immediately it's sent. You see the message being added here. So it's showing up, which we could actually verify here. See, it's added the Psychologist to my own list. And under the Psychologist list of conversation, it added me there. And again, if we refresh this page, we should be able to see the message correction that we didn't see. So this is message correction, the message right here, which has one message at the moment, which is this, hello me, it's me again, which is this, hello, it's me again. If you go ahead and type again, another message there. Let me see. So can we talk? Go ahead and send the message. So you should see it here. So it's appearing here, can we talk? And that's still the same message in our back end. Can we talk? Right now, but I'm the only one sending message. I'm the only one seeing my own messages here. I want the Psychologist to send a message too. But right now, if you look at our app, we don't have a section for the Psychologist to kind of use the app, which we are going to create later on. But for now, I'm going to do some trick right in our back end. I'm basically going to create a message object, a new message with different timeline. So go over here, no, add a document, and with this ID, but it's going to change this from 3. So let's say from 3 to 8, leave it that way. And it's going to be a, okay, leave it, save that. So this is the message I just added. So first of all, the message is going to have let's put this side here and see what our message details should be about. Message update object, how it's going to look. So you're going to look something like this. So you're going to have a content, start with the content property. So now I could say the content is still a test. I will say yes. So this is the Psychologist talking. Yes, we can go ahead and talk now. Go ahead and add that. And again, over here, we see, if you look at our app, it's the, let's open simulator. So that's not been updated yet, but let's go ahead and add other stuff. We should have message from. So from should be basically from the psychologist, ID from, and we could get that, keep that for now. The ID from will be from the psychologist. Come on. Okay, yeah, copy the psychologist ID. Yeah, and then the ID too will be mine. I should say ID 2 will be mine. Go ahead and add that. And again, with the content ID from ID to message UID. So the message UID is basically the same timestamp we copied. So over here, add a field called message UID. We just copy the same timestamp here, which is our message ID, reserved as message UID. And the next one will be type, message type, which should be 0 for test. So message type, say that should be a number, and should start being 0. And which is over here, say 0. And again, we have timestamp, and the timestamp property will basically be the same timestamp we have here. Copy that, paste that in here, go ahead and save. So we have the timestamp, and lastly we have read message. Copy that over here, add that. No, we're not adding anything. So just add it here. And we set this to be false, always false. For now, but it should be a Boolean type, which should be false. Go ahead and add that. And if you look over here, so that should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is good. We are good to go. So right here in our message screen, open up our simulator, and you can see the message we just added, which is yes, we can go ahead. But this message is not from me. This is actually from the psychologist, which I just kind of like manipulated here to come from a psychologist. But later we are going to make it in a way that we could actually have a psychologist part of the app, and now we have two app right here, chatting as a psychologist and chatting as a user. That's later on our app, but for now we're just testing this. So right now, this is how everything is being displayed. Okay guys, wait a second, let me reply someone. I think someone sent a message. So how I want to start new project. Let me see. So we just reply someone on our chat section. Okay, so let's continue with what we are doing. So far, Yeah, but this shouldn't be looking like this since this message is not from us. This particular message is from the psychologist. So what we could do for that is to just say, um, so right here we have this is me, true or false. So we could have a field, right, a function right there that will help us to determine if the message is coming from me or the message is coming from the psychologist. Basically how to do that is basically cross-checking between our two IDs. Let me see. And, yeah, so I'm going to create a function. I'm going to call that function. I'm going to return a boolean. And it's going to say check is me. We need a string of ID to be passed. Call that from ID should be required so that we will be able to fix this error. Say this should be required, and then in our function body we're going to compare that by saying from ID is equals to selected you know. So we're going to say chat controller dot current user ID. Okay. So basically current user ID will basically be getting from our auth. I'm almost confused on which controller to open. So yeah, this should be chat controller. It's my VS Code field is kind of like filled up. I'm just scrolling through the like this, kind of tedious right now. So right now, in our chat controller, we created a new another getter function that's basically help us to get our auth current user from our auth firebase auth. And how this is how we're going to do that. Say get, and since it's a get function, we could just call that current user ID, which is what we just used here. Copy that. And we're going to say get current user ID, which is going to return both the current user.id. And we could go make use of this. But now this shouldn't be able to throw an error. So it shouldn't. But we need to cast this as a string. It should be a string to do the comparison. And now we could go ahead and use this right here, where we are going to say something like another required property. So required property called boolean, and that should be just call that. So let me see. Okay, we can just call that is mine for now. No, not is mine. So that should be ID. So ID from. So ID from, which is going to be a string. Or do we actually need to call this since we're already passing a message? So in that case, I don't think we need to create another parameter here. We could just get hold of everything from this message. And right here, we could just say check is me. And we're going to score message dot Okay, should be from ID. So we have message dot ID from. Go ahead and save that. And you see, so that is working. So that basically move this to the left hand side because this message is coming from our psychologist and not from me. So that's why we moved it to the left hand side. That was working. Let's go ahead and tap our own message again. So it says yes, we can go ahead and talk now. I would say just reply this. Say okay, I'll go ahead and send that. Okay, yeah, it's been sent, and our message has been added here. So it's still at this end because I'm the one sending a message, but I think we have an error that we need to fix here. Says read the message and support here. You see why that's showing that error. So I read the message. Then that was called read message, and you can see okay. So looks like Lane is suggesting something. Yeah, basically Lane, we are going to use timestamp. So this timestamp right here, the timestamp we have here. So we are going to use that to add time to the message. For now, we are going to, yeah, we are still going to do that, but this timestamp will help us. That's why we added this here. So we already have that covered. Thanks for suggesting that. So just reply, yeah, just reply the message. So with that, so we have this readme set to false here. So this should have readme, okay, set to false. Also with this readme and this readme, so saying 100 error. So data readme as boolean. Read message, yeah, we should actually have here read message data, get out from the data property that's been returned as read message, or if it's not, so maybe no, if it's not, that's passing false, yeah. So likewise, what we could do here, if there is not pass false to that, that should be able to solve the issue we are having right now. Let's go ahead and test that out again. So you can just tap in here and say say something like when so when are we going to meet? Have that send, and let's see if we're going to have the same error message. And yeah, good, we don't have any error message because that is fixed. So you click on this, this goes down, and you can see our message. So when are we going to meet? So if you go through the message right here, we have hello, it's me again, can we talk? over here, the psychology replied, yes, we can go ahead and talk now. And again, these are my two messages. So we are good to go. So next stuff will be to basically group these chats. So we could go ahead and group this chat to be based on date sent. So let's say today, since we have said this message are sent today, it will over here have something like today's date, let's say something like July 17th. So these messages is grouped under July 17th messages instead of saying today. But tomorrow, if you come back tomorrow here to chat, so that should be saying 17th, and another group of messages here will be on another date, right? Well, let's see that something like similar to what they have in WhatsApp. So on WhatsApp it should look like this. So WhatsApp. Okay, let's open something. So this is what I'm talking about, but this one has to be, or we could actually make it to be saying something like today or something like that if it's today. But let's start first with kind of telling us the particular date. Let me see how the one that kind of has something like that. Not what I'm looking for. Come on. I'm able to figure this out. None of these images has it. I only have showing up today. So let's go and build that so you guys should see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and minimize this. So we minimize this. So right now we can confirm that our messages are working when you send and receive messages. And going back to our chat room screen, which should be chat room screen. And here we go. Boolean check is me, which is this we implemented here, and we went ahead and start using it right here. Next stuff we are going to do now is to group the charts into dates, like I said. That's okay. No, that would be that. That's not the next stuff. So the next stuff we are going to do is to fix this issue we have here. So we have a lot of issues to fix, starting with home controller, where we have these kind of like hard coded, which is not what we want to get out. So we want to fix this up, and then we could then start working on fixing grouping these messages by date, because this is very important. Because this right here, we cannot actually chat with another psychologist. If we go over here and pick a new psychologist to chat with, you see it's showing us the previous psychologist messages, which is not what we want. So we want to chat with the new psychologist from the beginning. So let's go and fix this up and fix this issue up. So we have right here where we say set selected psychologist, which has an index and again psychologist, something like that, which will give us psychologist from here. And with that being said, so what we could do now, let's kind of convert our code. A lot of stuff we need to change here. So start first of all with converting. So we're doing a lot of refactoring right now. So basically code refactoring. So start first of all by converting what we have here, which is basically dynamic. So we made this psychologist list to be dynamic, but we want to make it to be a type of psychologist model so that we could able to kind of like achieve what we want to do right now. And since selected psychologist is a psychologist model, type of psychologist model, so we could just make everything to be the same. And you see there's something I'm missing. Okay, let's get to what we have. So convert this to the not matter. We're going to change this to the same psychologist model, and basically change all this stuff. As a VS Code extension, how do you do that? I could just highlight all this. Let me see. I think it's option and then highlight. Okay, that's not it. How do you? No, not that. Okay, I think I've forgotten. But basically, just hold over there, go like highlight, and then replace everything at the same time. But looks like we're going to keep on doing this manually. Uh, did that somewhere before, but I just forgot the key combination. So I think you have to kind of like hold some keys down and then use the highlight. But if anyone remembers that, just let me know. Thanks, but I just forgot how to do that. So that saves a lot of time. Because use this in place of what we have here. Paste that. I think we are good to go. But if you go ahead and save this right now, we are going to run into multiples of error, not just one error. We're going to have a whole lot of errors right now. So, but let's go and save that and restart our app. And there we go. Where is this one coming from? Yeah, so yeah, like I said, we have a lot of errors. So we need to go ahead and fix every single one of them. So yeah, let's start with that. So the first one we're going to fix, stay in our home controller right here. We're saying if, okay. So first of all, yeah, right here where we have the value docs.map. Right now we are just returning the map as a key value pair of map type, but we want to return a psychologist model type right here. Copy that and then call psychologist model. Dot from map, and there we go. And then we're going to return. Let's see. So this should be all psychologists of data. Remove this. Replace that with psychologist model, and that will fix the error. And I think the first one is fixed. And let's see the next one we have on the list. So this is already fixed. Looking for psychologist model value. And this is setting the value to it, which is psychologist model. So that one is fixed. And let's see what else we have on the plate here to fix, which error. Just yeah, down here. So we have this. So right now it's no longer a key value pair, so we don't need to access the what's it called, the fields of the fields using this way of accessing key value pair from JSON or something out from map. So basically what we have to do is just call element dot specialization, since this is we already know the data type, which is of this class of type of this model, and just go ahead and access its specialization. Just do the same for every single one of these since they are all the same. Do the same for here. Do the same for here. Good. And go ahead and save this and refresh our app and see which one is we need to fix. And click over here, tap on this, and then the next one is this. So still, since this is an object, so you just say .name, tap into the name property. That's good. The same for here, .name. Looks like every single one of them has the same. Let's copy that over, replace that all with this element.name, 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 and element.name. And that's fixed. Go ahead and refresh this. Hot restart, I mean. So click on this, see what else we're missing. So the same stuff here. So this should be item dot star, and yeah, the same stuff here. Dot star, and likewise here. Dot star, and also we do the same for area limit. Dot area limit. That's what we do there. And let me see. So minimum amount, we do the same. I hope you okay. Area limit. Yeah. So yeah, this one. Let's say minimum amount. Do the same right here. Mean amount. Also here. Dot mean amount, and also right here dot mean amount. I think, yeah. Because this when minimum amount is less than the value the user is typing, and over here when the minimum amount is greater than the value the user is searching with. So that should be mean amount also. So I have this main amount, and finally we just fix this one. This should be experience. Go ahead and next result down. Okay, now double dot notation, and also the last three should be the last one here. Yeah, dot experience, and let's see, save that, hot restart. Okay, a few more places, one more right now. So this area which I talked about, we are currently hard coding, so let's go over and fix that out. What we could do here is basically, since our list contains a proper object of type psychologist list from psychologist model. So we're going to remove this stuff we're doing here and directly get the particular psychologist what we want, and that will fix the remaining error. Go ahead and restart. Okay, but right now we got more errors, which is basically for the view part of our app as home page screen. So this home page screen, we could actually kind of like denote the kind of error we are getting here. Basically, what we are doing wrong here is that we are accessing these objects fields by accessing it in a map way, whereby this is not a map or JSON, so we don't need to access it this way. We just need to use the dot notation way. We should just say dot experience. What happened? So let me see. List of dynamic. So our list shouldn't be dynamic. So this should be dynamic. So you can just make a list of type psychologist model this way. So keep it that way. So our list of types, since it's psychologist this way, so you could just go ahead and then replace this by using the dot notation experience. The same with this. There's a user image, dot user image, name, do the same for name, dot name. And then we have the specialization, dot specialization, mean amount, minimum amount, dot mean amount. And again we have star, dot star. We go ahead and save that. And then let's start our app to make sure we are not having any errors. So there's no new error. Looks like we refactored our code very well, but we could just go and test this out, checking if there's any place we are having error. And admission section, so no error. Okay, none of them is showing an error, so we can just go back and still go back. And again, we could just try doing these stuff, and that's working, so we're not getting errors. And let's go back. I could just search and then highly rated, and you could see that is working. Highly rated. Tap again, search, alias admission. Okay, clear that. Alias admission date. Okay, apply, and it kind of like shows all the users with alias admission. So let's search again using low price, users with low price, and you can see there low price. So start with the lowest price, which is 100, 150 all the way down. And so let's search with user with high price, apply. So this user with high price, 900 all the way to the list. And clear search with experience. So it gave us users with experience. So yeah, 8 years of experience, 8 years of experience, 4 years of experience, and all the way down. So we could verify that our searches is working. Go over and clear this, and then we could just go over to this screen or any other screen and search here. Okay, before we do that, so basically right here, just close this, open it, and then search here. Let's say using the names, and you can see that is working. So it gives us the psychologist with the name we are searching with, and we could go ahead and delete that. And you see that our list is being reformatted, and go ahead and click this. So now you open this, go to the search section. This we are chatting with this psychologist, and this is how it's looking. So these are tests. Right now, let's open another psychologist. This one, open that chat. You see, mine is working. So you can see that we don't have any chat history with this psychologist. Then we could go ahead and chat with him. Let's say something like hello, and then go ahead and send the chat. And you could see the chat being added. Now we have the chat added, and we don't have any error right here. And we can also verify that the chat is added in our back end. Open this up in our back end messages. We have to reload this. And if you click on this, so there's the second chat, right? Yeah, there's the second chat, because that's the second psychologist which has this ID. And if you click over there, you can see he's chatting with me. And then also the first psychologist is also chatting with me. And then we have these messages, which is the second message with the second psychologist, and here is the message I sent to him. So hello, which is basically this hello message here. There we go. And so that's the same. So let's say if you go back, right? So if you go back here, um, I'm selecting new psychologist. So let's select this person. So this should be empty. So, but we don't want it to be empty like that. What we could do is to add something to the screen by something like saying, "Hey, this is a new, this is the beginning of your chat section with so person," and are we going to do that right there in our chat room screen? That should be under somewhere here, and yeah, under here. Actually, we're going to say widget we're going to return. We're going to score that get welcome channel message. There we go. We're going to return. Basically, what are we going to return? I'm going to return a text for now. But I want that text to be centered. Let's add a dummy text for now. Let's say okay, so this is what we want to add. So basically we want to say no chat here yet. Then we're going to encourage the user to add a chat. Okay, yeah, we could just say something like that. Okay. Let us save that. So there we go. But we need to use this inside this place for this empty chat history. We are going to add that to our list view. So this is our list view. We are going to, so this is our list view. Before we return this, we are going to use an if statement right here. I'm going to say if. Okay. So here we get our list view. Alright, list view, and then we are going to use our if statement right in there. And I'm going to say if index, the current index is equals to to message returned. That means the list is empty. If not, that means the list is not empty. So to do that, what we could do is if index is equals to so the triple, actually you could actually use the triple equal to sign if you are writing JavaScript. So we could just go and say is equals to chat this dot length. If this index is equals to that, then we know that this is empty, and we could just go ahead and return get welcome channel message, something like that. There we go. Save that, and so that should be it. Let's see. Okay. Let's say color. What? but blank color. Okay, let's see. Just wrap this inside a center widget. Okay, now restart this. Okay, and we could just directly check that again. So tap on this, tap right here. So I think we are having some issues, so something is wrong somewhere. So get message item, get message item. See. What's going on? So basically, this should be up right there, but for some reasons. So just charts which we have here. Go ahead and add +1 to this, so it should display that. Okay, so we should be able to display that message, which is this. Because right now, yeah, the reason why it's not showing it because this list view builder got a value of length that is 0. So because it's 0, it's not going to render anything. That means there's no shell to render. So that's why it kind of like was removed from the tree, from the widget tree or the view. Now we are adding +1 to it. So basically we are saying if it's empty, just add +1 at your back. That means since we are adding +1 to the back, it should be able to show us this. Understand? Because right now this is actually really empty. Or instead of doing that, let's see. Okay, just do it this way, and then we could go ahead and remove this container. Leave only the test, and there we go. There's our test. But we want this to be centered, and remove this center. So go ahead and wrap this with a line. Tap into the alignment property, and then we say alignment dot center. I should center it, so let's see why that's not working. Think I just use transform. Don't translate. And I can use offset right here. Tap into the offset property, and I can say offset. Offset is not offset. Offset is not offset. So we have offset 0.0, and on the y-axis, push it down. So there we go. But we need to increase this by using our media query, so I could dynamically do that based on different device sizes. So we're going to do something like this. We're not minusing anything. Rather, we'll be multiplying that by 0.5. That's too much. So let's try. I'll start at 0.4. Well, about 0.3. Okay, I think we are good to go. So this makes sense. So we say no chat here yet. Start chatting with your psychologist, but we don't want that color. So if we can go ahead and change the color to unselected, there is the color we have. So we are telling the user that the chat is empty. They should basically get in contact with the psychologist and start chatting with them. And what if we add a smiley face right here? I think that should be an icon for that. So we could just say icon, and inside the icon we could just tap into icons, the smile, smile. Okay, there's no icon like that. Sick, you know. Not sick, they're not sick. So let's try happy. No way. Let's try feeling. Not. Another one. Okay, I could just looks like the background sound is too much. Okay, someone asked us to reduce the background sound. How is the background sound too much? Let me see. So guys, I'm just replying to message. Someone sent message on this chat. Okay, so let's see. Okay guys, I just reduced the background sound. If it's too much, just let me know. We'll reduce it more, but if not, we could just keep it this way. Let me see. So you have icons that Let me try to add a similar. It's an icon that shows a smiley face. Um, there we go. We don't have any icon. I think we found one. That also makes sense for happy face. So go ahead and use that as a happy face. And then you can leave this right here. I'll wrap this. So it wrapped every single thing there in a column. So that should have a children property. Inside of children have the text property. And then go ahead and copy. That's what we want to copy. So copy this over and remove that from there. So if we kind of like leave it there, that would throw an error. And go over format this, add that. So that's added. Okay, actually that looks somehow. That's not looking good. We'll change the color a bit to see if it's going to look nice. Add colors. Brand color. We go ahead and use our brand color. I think that makes sense. Just leave it this way. Since we are centering everything, we'll reduce the text size here. Let's do this for text weight and reduce the text size to 14. And yeah, so you should say something like no chat here yet. Start chatting with your psychologist. And again, we're going to increase this icon we added. So using the size field, let's try 30. What about 50, 60? And yeah, we could leave it that way. So say, yeah. I think they could be. I think the icon is kind of like looking scary. If you just change the color a bit, I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. So yeah, we could just leave it this way. So if we don't have any chats with anybody, we have this. But if you go back and then select a psychologist that you have chatted with, and see it's gone. So you see only the chats with the psychologist. And then if you go back again and select someone you don't have any chat with, then you see that this been displayed. So with those added, let's see what changes we need to make. So we did formatting, we okay. So right now, if you come over here in the chat screen, so nothing is showing. So we can only get to the chat screen from here at the moment, but we can't get to the chat screen from here. So it's not going to work. So we are going to, let's see if we can able to kind of like do that now, or we could just leave that tomorrow for a new video. So we could just finish this up by tomorrow. And yeah. So because we already spent about 3 hours plus right now trying to so far on our stream. So I think we'll be closing here for this. Tomorrow we are going to continue. So tomorrow basically what we are going to work on tomorrow is being able to get to the chat screen. So I think there's also an issue that we need to fix. So we have an error here because if you tap here or if you tap here, it should be here and not on chat right here. So we need to fix that also, and because that is causing an it's showing an error. So yeah, guys. So tomorrow join us again tomorrow. So we continue from where we start. Like I said, tomorrow we basically getting this to look like this. What we have here to look like basically this section. So when you get to this chat screen, so we should be able to see whoever we are talking with, right? And then we should be able to kind of like click anywhere on this user we are talking with and go straight to the chat and start chatting with them, not going around from the user search homepage. So that will be it tomorrow. And again, when we do the grouping, so like I said, we have to group this to look like this where we say if you are sending a message today, we have March, the date up here. So if you send a message tomorrow, we are going to have the grouping right here too. That's saying that we sent a message on this day. This one was sent on this day. So far, we haven't done that. And again, after that, we should be able to add this um, attachments feature. And again, hopefully, we add this. Um, if we still have time, we could go ahead and work on um, the glyphs feature, and again the audio, which is the sound recording. So that was it. So see you guys tomorrow, and have a nice day. Call it today. What's going on? Delete. I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this. Now we done with. Okay.